Good morning, Academy 55 premium members and everybody else who's watching the recording. David Kahn here on Thursday, the 9th of January, 2025. We're looking at the EUR USD on the 1 minute time frame, following the Academy 55 indicators and strategy. What we're going to do now is we're going to have a bit of a closer look at what's going on. So we turn our indicators off at the moment, and I'll go on the daily and have a quick look at the daily. What can we see? Well, this level here is the lowest level since November 22. This level down here. So, and it looks like, although there's a big indecision candle on the daily, so will they continue to go down to tap into this imbalance here, or will they decide that they want to go up into this imbalance up here? That's the monthly. Looking at the daily, we know there's imbalance down here and there's imbalance up here. So at the moment, we are wanting to go down, sell. Looking at the 4 hourly, it's a bit more obvious. So what we can do, really, I don't really like drawing trend lines, only on the bigger pictures, really. But we can get a trend line and go from, drag it down through there. And just like support and resistance lines, they can bounce and break. We know if they get above there, then there's more likelihood of a buy taking place. So let's go down to the 4 hourly, sorry, the hourly. And this is what it's looking like on the hourly. We've still got our trend line going from the high up here. These are very subjective trend lines. That's why I don't like drawing them more than on higher time frames. But as you can see, we are a trajectory still going down. But if we go onto the 5 minute now, we are it's being contradictory because we are in a buy zone territory, and yet price still wants to go down because of a strong dollar, obviously. So we'll mark up. Well, we need to mark up because we know we're in a buy zone. I'll just mark up the sell zone now. And incidentally, so if price goes for a buy and we get above there, I know to be very cautious, because is it bouncing and breaking off the trend line that we just drew for ourselves? In the meantime, there is a lot of stuff going down and down and down. There are buy orders down here. A price needs to go and find the buy orders that are down here. So it's very difficult trading at this particular time. So, we haven't done the lines yet, so we'll put it on the 4 hourly again, and we'll go to the line chart. There's no significant lines in the way. Going to the hourly, still no significant lines. Nothing apart from this line here, which is very close to that line there. Nothing near no sort of support and resistance lines to sort of grab onto. Oh, we take off that and we go back onto the minute time frame. This is where we are. Put our indicators back on. Look at the our MC4 and make sure you've got your risk reward in purple, your lot calc in purple, and your all important 1%. Am I recording this? I'm just double checking. Yes, I am. Okay. So this is where we are at the minute. We had a sell back at 7:30 this morning. And that would have been there. And we are at the lowest points we've been for a while, like I just pointed out. Let's just put it on the daily again. Oh, look, there's a buy just down there. We've already marked up the lowest point there. Price could be heading down to here or even beyond again, because that's what it's doing on the daily. So it's very difficult trading conditions because of all this that we're seeing, because we're in a buy zone, and yet we're seeing price really wanting to go lower and lower, and we've got other buy zones down here. So to take a buy zone, probability is not high, and yet we can't take a sell zone because we've already got one. Sell alert, I mean, we can't take a sell alert because we've already got one. Let's see if we can have a look on the hourly again. Do more, take this indicator off. We've got a low point there and a low point there, so we could call this a trendline channel. I don't really like I said, I don't like doing these rather than the higher time frames. So that's the lowest point there, and there's a low point there. But usually with trend lines, we like more than 3 touches. So it's not really saying too much to me. And indeed, we're just about to break that. So I'll get rid of that. Because we like more than 3 touches. 1 touch, 2 touches, 3 touches, more than 3 touches on that. And if it gets above there, then we're more likely to go for buy. But I haven't got nothing to tell me when we're likely to carry on this sell. So we're at the lowest point here. Price is determined to get, maybe it'll get to this level here, a double bottom, before shooting back up again. I wouldn't take a buy until it gets to there, really, because, oh, look, there's a buy zone anyway, so we want as many confirmations as we can. I found price yesterday and the day before not sort of felt a bit like they're not, price action is not going the way I normally see it go, especially on the minute time frame. And you could maybe attribute that, I don't know for certain, obviously, but the last time I saw price action like that, like I did yesterday and the day before, was when last April when we had a very bad spell, and that was because of end of year reports, financial reports. So one could say this time of the year is similar to that, although we haven't got end of financial year, we've got the beginning of a new year, annual reports. Makes sense. Maybe that, but to me, the markets aren't sort of moving the way I see them move most times. So, but that doesn't really make much difference because we have to be careful and look for as many confirmations before taking a trade. And usually the Academy 55 strategy gives us those confirmations. But if you do feel that they're not working out for you, what I would say is maybe just go after 1% rather than the 2% during times. If you have 3 losses on the bounce, then certainly don't trade even on your free demo account. Just paper trade it until such time as you're happy with the results you're getting, and then start again. The only thing is you've got to check out your FOMO, fear of missing out, and stuff like that. But recognizing that and dismissing that will make you a better trader, because this is a marathon, not a sprint. Anybody thinks they're in here for a get rich quick scheme, sorry, that's not us. But as you can see, the euro against the dollar is really, really low now. Let's go on the monthly. This is the monthly time frame. Obviously, it has been a lot lower. But not for, certainly not since 22, 3 years now. And this is the back in yeah, 22 is the lowest it's ever been. And we got imbalance there that needs to be filled. So maybe, just maybe, that's the reason coming down into tap into this imbalance here on the higher time frames. This might be the moment they do that. This is an imbalance candle on the monthly time frame. All imbalances and support and resistance work on all time frames. This has to be filled at some stage to equalize. Market loves as much balance as possible, but because of political conditions and the conditions of the dollar and all that, it might not have been possible to get down to these levels down here, but this needs to be addressed. And maybe this is the time when they do that. This month is an indecision month, as you can see by a wick above and a wick below. Let's try the weekly. Even the weekly is a bit indecisive. There's a small wick. If I drag that out, there's a small wick down below there. So there is a bit of indecision, but still going down towards the selling side of it. Going on the daily, even the daily, there's a little bit of indecision going on in the daily, but still price is going down. Indecision on the 4-hourly, still price is going down. On the hourly, price is generally going down. That's a bit of indecision there. There's a little bit of a wick above on the hourly. But like I say, I fully, well, not fully, but I suspect price will want to go down to tap into these areas down here. I wouldn't necessarily trust a buy at the moment anyway. Not the strength of a buy anyway. Although we have a buy now. Are we going up to these trend lines here? Make sure I'm 2.2 pips away from the action at minimum, which is there. That's where I want price to be. But I will be looking for the trend line to go green. And maybe price is going up to this area here. Finger on the buy. I think if I did take a trade, I would have a large pip to entry. We are in buy zone territory because we know price swept down past the former buy zone. But we have other buy zones below. So if I did take a trade now, I'd be looking to put my stop loss to my entry as soon as giving it wriggle room as possible, really. The trend line now is at 3 o'clock, so one can imagine that trend line will go green at any second now, but I want a bit more of a confirmation. I want it to go at, well, 4 or 5 pips even between stop loss and entry to give me a little bit more confirmation. Because in my mind, I think that the bigger picture is we are going to go a little bit lower yet. And this will be a retrace. But are they going to retrace up to here or this area here? You don't know. So it would be very prudent if I was to take a buy, because we are in buy zone territory, to give me as much confirmation as possible. Indeed, that's what's going to happen. And now it's, yeah. So if it breaks that again, I'll be more likely to take the trade if it does it again. if it does it again, but we shall see. Trend line's gone green now. Yeah, we're double top there, look. I'm ready, poised to push that button. But we're at 4.5 pips away between stop loss and entry. Right, I'm in for a buy. I'm going to accept a 1% loss if that indeed is what happens. Oh, what did I do there? Sorry. But as you can see, the take profit is above the purple line. We've been on a sell bias, and we've had the on higher time frames, we've had the evidence of that. So I'll be looking to put my stop loss to entry. See, we've got a nice bit of imbalance here. Hopefully price will want to tap into that imbalance. So if I put a line there, that's where I will definitely want to put my stop loss to my entry if we get that far to protect my equity. Let's we'll look on here. How many pips stop loss do I have? I have a 4.9 pip stop loss. So that's where my stop loss would be. So 4.9. Come on. There we go. So that brings my 2%. Oh, right. Up to, yeah, that's how it's looking on the MT4. But as you can see, we've got that trend line. Will it bounce or break? Ah, right. Well, cleaning up a little bit, we've got this level here. But I've also got this level here. This is where I want to put my, sorry, go on the 5 minute time frame. This level here is where I wanted to put my stop loss if we get that high. This is the way I do it. I mean, everybody's different. Change that to a dotted line, settings, style, change it to a dotted line or dash line even. There we go. So this is where we are at the minute. Go back to where the real action is. and turn it onto the minute time frame. There's not to confuse. Sorry, just have a quick look at the five. No, that's quite good. Nice to see on the 5 minute the parabolic SARs have come down to give a deeper buy, perhaps. Hopefully we'll be having that. But as you know, and as you've seen, things aren't always straightforward and clear cut. Otherwise, this game would be easy. And instead of a 95% people not making the cut, we'd have like a 20% not making the cut if it was easy. That's why we are very, very mentally strong and accept a 1% loss if indeed that does happen. So I'm looking for price because of the again, on the 5 minute time frame. This is in balance here, look, on this candle here. So if price gets to there, I'll be looking to put my stop loss to my entry to protect my equity, because I very much respect the fact that this might be what we call a retracement trade, because the bigger picture is telling me that we still want to go down a bit more. But do they want to go and take sell orders that they know are up here? So as always, in a trade, I want to protect my equity when it's feasible to do so, as soon as it's feasible to do so. That's me. Some traders will leave it there and accept the 1% loss, if indeed that's what's going to happen, or go for the 2% gain. But I feel being in front of you guys, it's my duty to do as much as I can to protect our equities, which we should be doing anyway. So generally, that's what I'm doing. But I also appreciate that individually, some might not have too much problem with a 1% loss. Some people do. And every day, your mentality will be different every day. Now, the challenge for you and me, everybody, is to sort of try and be as objective and have the same mentality every day. But as human beings, it's just not possible. But that's the goal. We try to get as close to that goal as possible, to have the same objectiveness and the same mentality, really, for the consistency part of it. But it's one of the most difficult things to do. For me, it is anyway. I mean, obviously, I can't mind read other people, but I'm just saying for me, and I've always considered myself to be average in most respects. So therefore, I have the assumption if it's like that for me, the assumption is it's like it for most people. But the idea is to be as objective, disciplined as you can, the same most days. But it's for me, it's even now it's difficult. Right, we tapped into that imbalance that we saw on the 5 minute. So I'm going to be putting my stop loss to my entry. So now I have a risk-free trade now. It's gone past that imbalance now, which is nice. And I'll delete that. And indeed, I'll be following the parabol stars all the way up, just in case we get a turnaround. And I might even decide if we get to this level here, is there going to be enough volume at the time to bounce or break off this purple line? Who knows? But I have a risk-free trade now, so I'm happy now. Can't lose any money. And indeed, I'm going to just put it up a little bit. It's only $74 on a $100,000 account, but you know, to a lot of people, $74, about £60, do quite a lot with that. And of course, as the parallel size go up, my stop loss will go up. Now, a lot of people would have kept the stop loss down here where it was originally. And there's nothing wrong with that as well, because I have seen price go all the way down here and then go back up again. Right, I'm going to be raising my down there. Now I've got $314 on a $100,000 prop firm account. And I might be taking out now, but I've got a little bit of money. Protect my equity. You don't go broke by taking a profit, if indeed that's what's going to happen. And indeed, that was what did happen. But I'm okay with that. So I've got $314 on a $100,000 account. So I'm going to take that away. And this is what the state of play it looked like. See how it respected that trend line. Is it bouncing and breaking again? Let's see what the outcome would have been. Let's put it on the minute time frame. This is the area where I put my stop loss to my entry and then follow the parabolic size up, as you know. So we'll get rid of that to clean that up. Now doing this is just like a bit of back testing now. And doing this basically shows you how good you could be at recognizing all these like trend lines and stuff that I've shown you. There also is what we call a key area. Isn't that funny? That's where I had the more or less had the line. That is a key area where traders and bankers think about putting orders in, taking orders out, that sort of thing around this level, especially on the higher time frames. So that is a key area there, and indeed we are milling around that area. So maybe they decided to take a few orders here and then carry on down again. We shall see whether I did the right thing or not. Bearing in mind, some people will still be in the trade because they kept their stop loss here, and a 1% loss is nothing. And it still might go up for 2% eventually, but I didn't. Because I'm with you guys, my job, well, my job as an individual, but even more so as a training trader, is to look at this more objectively than maybe I would do sometimes and protect our equity even more than maybe sometimes I would. So that's what I've done, and I'm okay with that because I took $314 on a $100,000 account, and I'm okay with that. I'm not suffering from fear of missing out if it was to turn around and get the 2%, because there's always other trades if you want to take them and if the conditions are right. And you don't go broke by taking a profit. So that's my philosophy and the way I look at it. And other traders I know, everybody's different. You show two traders with a perceived same level of ability or level of experience, and yet one could win a trade and the other could lose because they have different longer term ideas, and that because we're all individual. But now I'm thinking to myself, will that sort of get up to there and bounce and break? Because we know the bigger picture is for a sell. We've seen that historically with the higher candles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw open the chat just for 5 minutes in case anybody has any questions. And then we can continue our day. Let's see what it looks like on the 5 minute time frame. Like I said, I really don't like trend lines, but I didn't have not much more to go on because this is the lowest this has been for such a long time. Because the trend lines are subjective. Well, everything's subjective, to be fair. But gives me an extra confirmation if price was to go above there to carry on up. But I'm happy with what I done. See how it's bouncing off that trend line again. Look. Right, you could take a screenshot of that, and then you will come back later and see whether I did the right thing or not. By doing what I did, I'm happy with the little bit I did get. and maybe I will look for another trade later on today. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Depends how I'm feeling. But I made a little bit of profit today. Don't go broke by taking a profit. So that's where we're going to leave it, guys. No point just watching this like watching a tin of dried paint. I'll come back later on and discover whether this did hit stop loss or did hit take profit. Whatever, it doesn't really matter because I've already made my done my trade. There's no questions there. So all remains to say now. Oh, tomorrow, be careful tomorrow. Well, be careful this week and maybe even next week because of price action being funny. Maybe it's annual reports. The people investing longer term annual reports when they get into work, especially for this week. Maybe even next week as well. And also, we've got non-farm payroll at 1:30 tomorrow afternoon. Oh, and I forgot to tell you. Oh yeah, sorry. Very silly of me. 9 o'clock today, in another 20 minutes time, we have, goodness, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 instances of high impact news on the German side of the euro. So that's probably enough to swing the candles one way or the other. So the closer we get to 9 o'clock, the more it's going to be manipulated. Look at it bouncing off that trend line. So not so bad after all. Well, anyway, after all that, like I say, take a screenshot of that. You can come back later and see what it's all about because we're hovering around the key zone area and looking at it logically, got no basis for this. But if you was at this key zone area where investors psychologically put money into an investment, take money out of investment. What should I do? Buy or sell? You'd be looking at all that news at 9 o'clock, and you'd want to wait till after that to make your decision whether you're going to put in for a buy or a sell. So that could be a reason why this will be staying around here, could be staying around here for the next 20 minutes at least till the news happens. That could be one reason for that. Could be the trend line, could be both. But it doesn't matter. I've made my trade, made a small profit. Don't go broke by taking a profit, and we live to fight another trade. So, with that being said, guys, thanks for being here. I do appreciate it. And hopefully, we'll speak again tomorrow morning. So, cheers for now.